I want to speak to you about a very cool credit card from TD Bank. So we have the $100,000 TD Double Up credit card, APR 14.99%, low or fair credit welcome. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sort of Keyword Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you are to ask me if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about the $100,000 TD Double Up credit card. The APR here, 14.99%. Low or fair credit is welcome. Before I get into the nitty-gritty, please, folks, understand this video is purely educational, purely informational. We have no association, no affiliation with TD Bank, and they're not paying us to do this video. It's purely educational. Let's talk about the card details. Look on the screen right now. This is a beautiful gem, beautiful baby. The TD Double Up credit card. And the maximum credit limit here is $100,000. Here are the requirements. Minimum income, you gotta make at least $25,000 a year. That's gross income. Minimum FICO score 540. Fantastic. And our strong recommendation is to have an MPR with TD Bank. In other words, you need to have a checking account, savings account, and or investment accounts. The more accounts you have with TD Bank, the better. Why? Very simple. If you have a skinny FICO score, you better have a fat checking account or savings account for that matter. This is a card that allows you to earn up to 2% cashback rewards when you redeem into an eligible TD Bank deposit account. Plus, you get two special introductory offers. The bonus cashback, you earn $150 cashback in the form of a statement credit when you spend $1,000 within the first 90 days after your account opening. 90 days, folks. You also have a balance transfers. So 0% intro APR balance transfers for the first 15 billing cycles after your account opening. After that, the APR can be 14.99%, 19.99%, or 24.99% variable APR based on your credit worthiness. This is pretty cool, right? And the rewards details. You can earn up to 2% cashback, 1% cashback on purchases, plus earn 1% cashback when you redeem into an eligible TD Bank deposit account, which is why I was telling you earlier, you need to have an MPR with TD Bank. You need to have a checking account, savings account, or investment accounts. And one thing I want to say here is that the balance transfer fee is $5 or 3% of the transfer, whichever is greater. Minimum interest charge $1. The APR for cash advances 25.24% variable. Cash advance fee $10 or 5% of the advance, whichever is greater. And there is a foreign transaction fee of 3% of each transaction in US dollars. Let's quickly talk about the card requirements. Folks, I am still talking to you about a high limit credit card from TD Bank, and the card is called the TD Double Up credit card. Maximum limits $100,000. And what are the requirements? Let me dig a little deeper into what I call MPR. MPR stands for multi-product relationship with TD Bank. Now, TD Bank is not putting this as a requirement, but for us, it is a strong recommendation. If you have a poor or fair credit and you want to qualify for this card, then guess what? You want to expand the amount of business you do with TD Bank. And also, you want to have a TD checking account, TD savings, and money market accounts. Okay, and I'll tell you why. If you want to earn the 1% cashback rewards on purchases and you want to get an extra 1% cashback when you redeem your TD Double Up cashback, you need to have an eligible TD deposit account. You got to be at least 21 years old or 18 with either a parent's permission or a verifiable source of income. What I mean by that is you got to have a pay stub. You got to have a 1099. You got to have a W-2. Okay. If you do some cash transactions, you're getting paid cash. You need to find a way to, quote unquote, make the whole transaction legal, legit. You need to have a social security number. If not, you need to have an ITIN, an individual tax identification number. This applies for foreigners. You need to have a source of income, and the source must be legit, of course. And one thing I want to say here also is that you can also apply for this card as a co-borrower. So if you believe that your FICO is below 540, let's say you have a 475 or 500 FICO score, and you want to boost your chances of being approved, you can actually have a co-borrower with a stellar credit history, and that will help you also. Okay, and you can also add authorized users to this card as well. You may be able to add authorized users to your account. In the case TD Bank will ask, in that case, TD Bank will ask for their names, and in some cases, their social security numbers and date of births. You can also transfer balances onto this card, not a problem. Okay, so you can see that this card is pretty flexible. I want to talk to you about the Cashback estimator. This is an important feature on the TD Bank card. Folks, just to contextualize today's conversation, I am still talking to you about a very high limit credit card from TD Bank. The card is called the TD Double Up Credit Card. Maximum limit 100 Gs. Isn't that wonderful? That's just fantastic. I want you right now to look on the screen. So when you go to the TD Bank, to this card's page on the TD Bank's website, it has a nice cashback estimator, because cashback is a strong feature in this card. So you have a tool that allows you to estimate your cashback. You can see on the screen here, we put, for example, you have a 5,000 average monthly purchases. And based on that, you can see how your 2% cashback adds up after 1 year. You go from $600 on 1% cashback on your purchases, and $600, which is the additional 1% as cashback when you redeem into an eligible TD Bank deposit account. So the total cashback rewards after 1 year is $1,200. Think about that, folks. I have no idea if you love money, but I love money. And when I look at this just from an investment perspective, that's just wonderful. Think about that. You are investing $60,000, because $5,000 times 12, that's $60,000, and you're making $1,200 free money. What's the percentage on that? 5%, right? I think it's 5%. That's just wonderful. This is a great reward. This is a great return on investment. And this is what I call easy peasy money. So the cool thing here is that you can actually calculate that. Now, one thing you need to understand, the big question is TD's cashback offer worth it? Or more broadly, are credit card cashback offers worth it in general, right? Those are things you need to think about. I'm not trying to be philosophical here, but I just want to say that you have pros and cons of cashback credit cards. What are the pros of cashback credit cards? You have cash rewards. Most have no annual fee. Many offer sign-up bonuses. You have shopping perks, and some have 0% APR offers. What are the cons of cashback credit cards? You have high ongoing APR, foreign transaction fees, they may have earning caps, and there are no travel rewards. So whether or not a cashback credit card is right for you depends on a constellation of factors that I have no time to speak about here. But one thing you need to know here is that you need to compare cashback credit cards, reward schemes, sign-up bonuses, and perks. And you want to pay attention to your spending patterns. This is going to help you determine whether or not such a credit card is right for you. Let me talk to you folks about the benefits of this card. The benefits of this very high limit credit card from TD Bank. The card is called the TD Double Up Credit Card. Maximum limit $100,000. Minimum FICO 540, 545. Fantastic. Let's talk about the benefits. So this card has a lot of benefits. You have a digital wallet, so you can add your TD cards to your mobile device to simplify your online in-store or in-app purchases. You can pay quickly and securely with your mobile device, right? So you can pay with a single tap. It's that fast. You pay almost anywhere, and you can pay with confidence. This is fantastic. We live in a world where the mobile world and the internet have asserted their prominence. So it's kind of cool to have this feature, digital wallet. You also have a Visa zero liability, so you can enjoy Visa security on purchases plus protection against unauthorized charges, right? So you have peace of mind included with every transaction. And Visa protects you through a constellation of things. You have the Visa Advanced Authorization, you have the Visa Secure feature, you have the Visa Zero Liability feature. You also have instant credit card replacement. So if your card is lost or stolen, you may be able to get an immediate replacement at a TD Bank branch. Okay, you also have contactless payments, and we love this feature also in the TD Double Up credit card. So TD Bank Visa contactless card are the fast, safe, and hassle-free way to pay. So your card is built for speed, security, and safety. Okay, and so for example, you have to look. So you want to look for the contactless symbol. Whatever you pay, you can tap. So when prompted, you want to tap your card within a few inches of the contactless symbol. And don't worry, if you tap multiple times, you will only be billed once. And you pay. Simple as that. So this is the trifecta we love with this card. So you get the okay, there's a beep, check mark, or green lights, and go, okay? You also have one-time code, full-time protection. So similar to a chip card. This TD Double Up credit card goes through a contactless payment transactions to make sure that you are indeed the authorizer. So you have a one-time security code that's unique to that transaction. So this protects your payment information from being used for future unauthorized purchases. This is really cool. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We are actually having a conversation today about the TD Double Up credit card. And this card is so great. It has a potential maximum limit of $100,000. This is pretty good. If you have a FICO oscillating between 540 and 550, you can still qualify. Let's now talk about the evidence needed. Evidence needed is diverse. So they want, obviously, they want to have the traditional information you would put on a credit card application form, right? So what type of card do you need? Are you a tenant or a homeowner? What other personal debts do you have, and who those creditors of yours are? Because TD Bank wants to just ascertain your liquidity situation and your DTI, your debt to income ratio. TD Bank might want to ask you if you want a joint credit card application or just a single credit card application. In other words, are you co-borrowing or co-signing? A little bit about your personal background. If you also want to include an authorized user, if you want to do balance transfers, all those things must be indicated on the credit card application form. And TD Bank might ask you about your income tax returns. Remember though, you can apply, and I will speak about that later on. You can actually apply at a branch also. You don't have to apply online. You can apply if you're lucky enough to live in the vicinity of a TD Bank brick and mortar branch. Just go to the branch, sit down with a banker, and explain everything to them. They might ask for income tax returns for the last 3 years. So that will be your 1040 for the last 3 years. And if you want to add if you have a side gig and you want to add that side gig's information onto the credit card application, you might actually include, you might highlight rather your Schedule C from your 1040. TD Bank might ask for your financial statements, so what they call the PFS, your personal financial statements, which is really a combination of 3 sub financial statements. So you have your personal balance sheet, your personal income statements, and your personal statement of cash flows. Balance sheet is the same thing as a statement of financial condition. Some people call it statement of financial position. And TD Bank might also ask you for your bank statements, just in case if you don't have a relationship yet with TD Bank, then they might ask you to provide the last 3 monthly bank statements, so they have a clear idea of your financial situation. Okay, so this is the kind of evidence that TD Bank rather, not Citibank. TD Bank might ask you. Let me now talk to you about how to apply, folks. How do you apply for this high limit credit card from TD Bank? Maximum limit $100,000. The card is called the TD Double Up credit card. It has a constellation of rewards, and if you have a low FICO, you can still qualify. You can apply for this card at a branch, as I just said. You can actually also apply it online. You can apply via fax. You can apply via mail-in. If they send you an offer in the mail, you can just apply there. You can apply via email. It really depends. In today's conversation, I'm going to quickly walk you through how to apply online. So you can see here, if you go to the page where the card is listed, you have to click apply, and then it will ask you, the very first question it will ask you is, are you already a TD Bank checking or savings customer? If you say yes, then they will want you to log in for a faster, easier application. If no, in our case, we click no, right? So here they're asking you for your personal information. You put your first name, last name, your email, your primary phone number, your secondary phone number if you have one. Make sure that you give them a phone number. A primary phone number should be a phone number that you don't really care about that much, because you might receive some telemarketing communications from them. Just FYI. And they want you to put your social. You have to put your date of birth, your address, your zip, your city, your residential status. Obviously, folks, as you can see on the screen, all the information here is fictitious. We even put the White House address, so this is really fictitious. And they want to have your gross annual income, your source of income, your monthly rent or mortgage. Okay. Next, they want to know your employment industry, what kind of industry you're in, what kind of occupation you currently have, about your job. And you click next, and they'll verify your information to make sure that everything is fine. This will take 10 to 15 seconds. And then here, they are asking you for additional information. Would you like to transfer balances from other credit cards? In this case, we said no. Would you like to add any authorized users? We said no, but if you want, you would go ahead and do it, right? And then you need to read the disclosures. Nobody reads this, but I have to say read it anyway, because it's a legal document. Read it, and you accept and submit. So after you submit, the system will actually run things for a few seconds. They'll verify your information. Next, and they'll say here that thank you, your TD Double Up credit card application has been processed, and so they'll get back to you. That's just the bottom line. They'll get back to you. Let me give you a few pro tips here before we close here, folks. How do you increase your chances of getting approved for this wonderful credit card? Again, folks, we are speaking about a very high limit credit card from TD Bank. The card is called the TD Double Up credit card. Maximum limit $100,000. There are a couple of things you need to do. Right off the bat, I want you to really save money. If you have poor or fair credit, you better have a fat checking account or a fat savings account. You got to have a little bit of moolah in your bank. So in your bank, in this case, we are speaking about TD Bank. You need to establish an MPR, a multi-product relationship with this bank. Open a checking account and or savings account. If you have extra cash, you can also open a money market account, a certificate of deposits, or a brokerage account, investment accounts, whatever it is. You want to try to keep your documents in order. Every document that I have listed in this show, from tax returns to financial statements to W-2s and 1099s and whatever it is, you want to keep your documents in order. You can save them physically if you have a little, like an organized spot in your house, or you can save them electronically, right, on the cloud or on a USB key drive. You want to try to demonstrate sufficient cash flow. Very important. Going back to what I said about liquidity, if you have a skinny FICO score, you want to beef up your liquidity situation. And at the end of the day, this card is unsecured, so TD Bank might not approve you for $100,000, but they may approve you for 20 grand, for 10 grand. And that's all you need anyway, right? And one thing I've said before also is you want to actually think about beefing up your chances of being approved. Do you have somebody in your family who can serve as a co-signer? Maybe your spouse or a parent? If you have somebody who has a stellar credit, then this person might be able to help. So think about that. Think about doing co-signing or co-borrowing depending upon the situation. Especially if you need a higher limit. If you need a limit that is, let's say, 50 grand or 60 grand or 70 grand, then you might need to beef up your application package if you don't have the right credit score. Thank you so much, folks. This is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about the $100,000 TD Double Up credit card. The APR 14.99%, low or fair credit welcome. I give you an overview about the card. I give you the card details, the card requirements, the cashback estimator, the benefits coming up with this card, the evidence needed, how to apply, and pro tips. Thank you so much for your attention again. I will speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.